This is the Holman Note-Taking Bible. It's a large print edition in the camel leather touch. It comes in this very nice box. It's a very hard material. I don't know what it is. I know that it's not wood. I almost think it's a plastic, maybe, covered in a paper. I'm not sure. I'm not good with that kind of stuff, but I'll go ahead and show you. This is the spine of the Bible. This is in the King James Version, and it's by Holman. This is a beautiful Bible. It's a leather-like, so not real leather. I really like the way it feels in the hand. I'll go ahead and give the measurements right at the start for this Bible. It is a big one. This is a little bit over 9.5 inches tall and then about 7.5 inches wide. The binding itself is about 1.5 inches. This right here, I was trying to think what this is called. I think it's called an embossing because it's not stamped on. It's actually within the material of this. So I like the looks of that. One thing I'll show you about this Bible, it does have that art gilding. It's a very shiny gold on all the sides. I haven't had a Bible like that before. And it's interesting, something that I noticed as I went through is that the pages are all stuck together and it can be really tricky sometimes. Like that one came right open for me and you have to open the rest of it. I've been going through and opening them up as I go, but I wouldn't want to do this the first time in church. Like just bring this immediately after buying. I think you have to go through every single one and separate it. And I think after you get them all separated, I think it will stay separated. That's just kind of something that I noticed that's a little bit tricky. The other thing is that it comes with these 2 ribbons. And I'll take this one out. And I heard someone say this in a video once, that it mattered whether it was shiny on both sides. This one appears to be shiny on both sides. It's not very wide. I personally don't use ribbons. They kind of make an indentation. I don't know. But these are 2 different colored ribbons. This has the stitching around the edges, but the liner is the paper material. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I always wonder about these corners, how long they're going to hold up. It seems like when they come, they feel like they don't have much time left. As you open the Bible up, there's a presentation page. I'll just say on the side, my husband and I, for anniversaries, Christmas, birthdays, we don't actually surprise each other with gifts or anything. We just each choose something that we want or need, and I usually choose a Bible. And this is the Bible that I chose, and it's going to have a specific purpose, but I'll go into that in another video. So this is a note-taking Bible. It says it's in the large print edition. It's a 9.5 font. So this Bible is copyright 2023. It comes in the brown tan leather touch or the camel leather touch, which is shown here. It has a table of contents page. And then the very next page is a blank next to the Old Testament intro page. So you have a blank, and then the book of Genesis starts on the right side of the page. And I flipped through this already, and every single book starts on the right side of the page. So that's kind of nice. So every once in a while you end up with this blank note sheet. I have another Bible that I'm using, a Journal the Word Bible, for taking notes in. And that one doesn't do this, so sometimes you have the book starting on this side of the page. And I prefer it this way because then every insert that I create to introduce a book could go right before the book. It wouldn't be in the middle of the book. So then all the intro pages that I create aren't between chapter 1 and chapter 2 kind of a thing. It's always at the start of the book. So I do like the way this is set up. And I'm not planning to switch because I've already done so much work in the other Bible. It would be a waste. This is going to have a different purpose, as I mentioned. If I was to start over, I would probably be thinking about this Bible. So here's a closer look at the Bible itself. And there's the chapter number and the verses. So that's a look at the font. And just as a reminder, the box says that the font is in 9.5 point type size. It also mentions that it has a 2-inch wide margin. When you look at the lined part, it's 2 inches. It actually has quite a bit more room for notes off to the side there. So that's nice. Something that I really like about this Bible, if I was using it as a study Bible where you're flipping back and forth or you're taking notes, notating back to other parts of the Bible, something that I like about this is that when you have 2 chapters on a page, like here we have 1 Kings chapter 21 and then chapter 22, sometimes that can get confusing at the top of the page. Usually it will just show that the ending of this chapter is chapter 22. So up here at the top, it would just say 1 Kings 22. And so often when I'm looking quickly, even though I'm in chapter 21 at the top, because this would say 1 Kings 22, I would write that as my reference back and it would get very confusing. So it's nice having this 21 to 22 at the top. I really like that. So then I'll be able to stop and think, oh, am I actually in 21 or 22? I don't know if that's happened to anybody else, but it's just something that I really appreciate about this Bible. And a lot of times in my journal, the Word Bible, I've added the other chapter number at the top because I get myself so frustrated because I'll continually be writing the wrong reference number. So I like that that's in there like that. So this is Psalms. And so as you can see, the poetic section is not set up different than other parts of the Bible. It takes up the whole area. Something that this Bible has that I've seen in other Bibles, but I've just personally never owned a Bible that had this, are these paragraph markers. So there's one here, so you can be reading along and know that this is all one paragraph, and then here starts another paragraph. I like that, and this is something that I've thought about adding to my other Bible that I use to study out of. I like that that's in here. So this is the last page of the Old Testament, and then you get a blank sheet, and then the start of the New Testament. So a lot of room for notes, and then another page. I like this because if you're wanting to add information on that harmony of the Gospels and that time period between the Old Testament and the New Testament, what was happening with the Jewish people, you can do that very easily in this Bible. So something I decided to do just to show you how it looks is to add some notes with some Micron pens. I've been using these Micron 005 pens to make notes. I like that they're the archival ink because I had a Bible where I used some Staedtler pens and it ruined the Bible, and so it was pretty surprising. So I don't take chances anymore. I just use the Micron pens. And I was really curious about this Bible because the pages seem really thin compared to my Journal the Word Bible. I had underlined some things here and I used this Crayola Twistable to highlight, and you can see a little ghosting. That just will not bother me. And all the underlining that I made on the other side of the page, I just really can't see that at all. You can, when you lay it flat down, I can see it. I think that might bother some people, but it's not bothering me at all. So I just wanted to give you an idea of that so you can see how it holds up with that kind of pen. So just to give you more of a feel for it, this is the ending of James and the start of 1 Peter. Just so you know, this is a red letter edition, so the words of Christ in red. And I always like to see that in the book of Revelation as well. And then this is the end of the book of Revelation. And then this one has a reading plan, and I really like the looks of it. So these are the weeks. And so the first day of the week, on Sunday, they have a reading from Psalm, and then they have a little bit of the Old Testament, and then a little bit of the New Testament. I kind of like that. I've always struggled with having the Psalms all together. The one thing I would have also wanted was to have Proverbs spread out, but I actually have other reading plans I use anyways. But I did like how this was different, how this had New Testament, Old Testament, and then Psalms spread out. I do appreciate that. So just in case you couldn't see that before, this is the reading plan with the Old Testament and New Testament. And they mentioned how you can read one in the morning and one in the evening, that kind of thing, separate it. And then they have these additional readings for Easter and Christmas. And it's nice because you can always start the year in July and have that be week 1 and then still read something from Christmas. And I did check, and these readings are also mixed into what you're reading here, so you'll be reading it in order, but just this extra thing to read at that time to put yourself in the mood, I guess you could say. So this is the concordance, and I like this. I noticed it had things like anger and love, and it's not an exhaustive concordance, so there's only a few verses, but you could come back here and use that to pray scripture if you wanted to. So just so you can get an idea of it, the concordance starts on page 1313, and it ends on 1370, and then there are some maps. This is the migration of Abraham from Ur, and this is another route. They're not sure which one he took, but that's the route. This one is the route of the Exodus. I haven't gotten to check this out very well. So next is the tribal allotments of Israel. And so Gad and Reuben, East Manasseh. So that would be very cool to have. And this is the kingdoms of Judah and Israel. And this is Israel in the time of Jesus. Oh no, it's broken. So yeah, this Bible is apparently, it had some issues, I think, when it was being made, because this is the brown that should go in the back. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but I think it's something in the way that they created the Bible before it got here. So I'm going to be sending this one back, but I'll go ahead and show you the rest of this. So there's also the ministry of Jesus around the Sea of Galilee, and then the Passion Week in Jerusalem, and it shows Friday evening, all the different days, so that's kind of nice. And then the last map is Paul's missionary journey, so very nice maps. So anyways, I'm excited about so many things of this Bible. So this is the Holman Note-Taking Bible. Be well, and God bless.